Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Worldology. Today's video, I'm going to talk about the statistics and the player count and the player chart in Battlefield 6 comparing to Battlefield 1. So the thing is, Battlefield 6 is actually losing a lot of players and Battlefield 1 possibly can come back in regarding to being on top in comparison to BF6 in a weird way. So let's get into this video and let me talk about it. Alright, so first and foremost, looking up at this chart on the screen, you can see that Battlefield 6 in the last 30 days had a negative 15% loss of players at a peak player count of 72,000 concurrent players. The average player count is 37,000 players at this current moment. Every single day as of right now, it will probably be about 50,000 players to 30 to 35,000 players every day, right? And is that a good thing? The thing is, this is the highest player count a Battlefield game has ever had in about 6 years since of Battlefield 5, and Battlefield 5 wasn't even that high in player count. That game died pretty fast as well. So the thing is with that game is that, talking about Battlefield 6 at this current moment, is that Battlefield 6 had a lot of potential. The potential is still going, but it's still a lot of things, as you know, people complaining about and people want fixed, and it's actually taking a very long time to get out those simple fixes. I honestly don't know why those simple fixes cannot be distributed to the main game very quickly. We all know that we still have a labs that needs to be come out for the vehicle testing, right, until Garmin Railway. So we don't actually know what's going on with that. And having an all-time peak, going back to the chart again, of about 656,000 players all time, which is probably like the most outrageous FPS game to ever reach that mark in about, like, I don't know, a decade. You can correct me if I'm wrong. It hasn't been that big of a player count in any other FPS franchise. So losing about February 11,000 players, and then in January 33,000 players, and then even in December Battlefield 6 lost 133,000 players, which is actually outrageous because you lost like about 70% of that player base of about 300,000 players. But the thing is, obviously that's going to be with any game for that matter, so that's not really a good statistic to even go off of on if Battlefield 6 is actually dying in a respective order or not. But in a game of being played in the last 30 days, 37,000 average players isn't necessarily that bad, but it is also a bad factor if we still don't get a lot of updates that's supposed to be in the game, because they are actually game break. We can't really have game breaking updates in the game, so it's actually a complex situation to actually develop on. If we don't have this update, how many more players can we lose? So going to Battlefield 1, Battlefield 1 had a 132% gain in bringing players back. And recently there was actually a time that you'll see on the screen that it was about 16,000 players had a peak that's playing the game at this current moment, or at a current moment in about this current month, right? And the thing with that is that's almost about half of the player base of the current average player count of Battlefield 6. And that's actually a very bad thing. Not saying that Battlefield 1 is a bad game. In my personal opinion, it's a chill game, but it's not good for, you know, players like me and other players like, you know, like me, right? Because obviously it's a different environment on people who want things to be equally balanced. And, you know, having one-shot snipers and everything from far away isn't really, you know, too good for having a good balance for overall players and everything. But that's going to be in another video. But I'm just going to say that having a 132% gain of players, and the peak players is actually about 21,000 players in the last 30 days, meaning that at a time, Battlefield 6 actually lost most of its player base to people who went to Battlefield 1, technically. So with that, is that actually a good thing or a bad thing? That depends on people who like BF1 and people who like Battlefield 6. Majority of the people likes Battlefield 6 and know it has great potential, but also a majority of people in Battlefield 1 being, very transparent, but have nostalgic issues. Even though it's a good game, but it's still nostalgic issues and everything pertaining to the game, even though the gameplay wasn't that good. And again, I will go into more detail on that in a different manner in my respective opinion. It's a lot of things going on in a current space of FPS gaming that it can be very confusing on different aspects of the game. And obviously we do need more people on to talk about these type of scales and statistics and analytics and everything pertaining behind, not fully behind the scenes, because obviously people worked for to get to this point, and obviously it's going to be way harder to even like grasp just a little bit just by listening to me or even other people. You have to see for yourself, speaking to the people who want us to get better at the game, but obviously there's going to be me and other people to be able to help you, right? So going back to the video, Battlefield 6 comparing to Battlefield 1, obviously by the time of me recording, 4,000 people is basically playing the game right now, and 35,000 people is playing the game on Battlefield 6 right now. So that means that Battlefield 6 isn't inherently dead. It's just that people are kind of lazy about wanting to stay on the game, and the game is good. Battlefield 6 is good. After the update, it's just a very dry game. And going to Battlefield 1 had about 20 something maps in the whole game. Because why? Because we had premium. They said that they was going to bring premium back into Battlefield 6. We have similar things as pertaining to the premium, but it's not necessarily a full premium. It's kind of like a half-assed premium to get us, obviously drip feeding and everything like that. But it's even worse than that, because we see like certain aspects of a premium being able to be in a game. Like we had premium cards and everything. So it's like, it's something odd going on. And having a 132% gain comparing to Battlefield 6's negative 15% loss gain, that's actually something serious to talk about in Battlefield. And I talk to y'all right now. Kind of need to work very hard to get this type of aspect going on in Battlefield 6 to make good community updates. Shut up, world. To make good community updates for the game to be able to have people want to come back to the game. What is that with that drink that people likes? The Red Bull, whatever it's called. I don't like Red Bull. I don't know anything about that. That's in a game. Nobody really cares about that. I haven't seen anything about that. And it's just a lot of other things that people don't want in a game because it doesn't bring community. We're supposed to be getting platoons in the game. That's not in the game. We're supposed to be getting many more like clan tags and everything, but it's still not in the game. So it's just a lot of things that the community need for the game. But in total, is Battlefield 6 necessarily dying in comparison to the next best Battlefield regarding to the community? Is it really, in trouble? I will say that it's kind of in trouble, but it can be fixed, but it will take some time. So still complex. So it's kind of in the middle. But that's all I'm gonna say for this video. Hope you like, share, and subscribe. Just a quick video, quick analysis. And I'll be sure to give some more updates and feedback on y'all for more. And I'm Worldology on Twitch, Kick, and YouTube. I'll be streaming Battlefield 6. I am kind of busy at this current moment, so it's going to take me some time to keep on streaming and doing videos at the same time. But I will provide some more content for y'all, and I am